Hello everybody, I'm Mordecai Lacrosse, and you're watching another strange but true video. Now, have you ever heard that song by Carrie Underwood where it's like, Jesus, take the wheel? Well, literally, a woman in Ohio decided just to do that. She said that she let God take the wheel as a test of faith in a high-speed crash. That's right, in Beechwood, Ohio, this woman decided that Jesus needed to take the wheel. She had recently lost her job, shit wasn't going that well for her, and she had her child in the back of her vehicle as well. And she thought there was a light, and she goes, I'm just going to let Jesus take the wheel. And when she did, obviously he didn't take the wheel. So instead, she got into this wreck. No one was hurt, but the point is, she literally, I don't know what to say about this. According to the police report, the woman, 31, approached the officers and told them she was driving the car and that her daughter, who was 11, was in the front passenger seat. Both the mother and daughter were taken to hospital for evaluation. Traffic cameras showed the woman's vehicle headed south on Richmond Road at least 100 miles per hour, speeding through a red light at Shaker Boulevard.
She's driving? I got her started regardless.
The woman hit another car, causing her vehicle to spin at a high rate, blah, blah, blah. The other driver was not injured. At the hospital, officers did not detect any sign of impairment for drugs or alcohol. She told them that she intentionally drove at the high speed rate through the red light to test her faith with God. She had said she was going through trials and tribulations, and like I said, she was recently fired from her job. And she decided that the best thing to do was endanger her child while driving under suspension. That was the right thing to do, because Jesus was going to take the wheel magically. I guess she didn't think that maybe Jesus wants her to take the wheel and drive the vehicle herself and take responsibility for her actions. She faces multiple charges, including felony assault, endangering a child, and driving under suspension. But the reason this is in this strange but true video, the fact that she literally thought that Jesus would take the wheel and drive the car for her, and that there was going to be no repercussions or nothing happening afterwards. And that's what this first strange but true video, this first story in this strange but true video is.
Mordecai, it says that your book is overdue. Overdue, really? Yeah, you might want to return it. Guess I'll need to return it. It's only like 60 years overdue.
So if you thought that you took forever to return books, then you're going to love this next story. This next story, if you will, is about a person who returned a book that was 300 years overdue. Yeah, you heard me right. So this particular person found this book in her godmother's belongings with a note saying to return to the Sheffield Cathedral Library, and realized that it was overdue for 300 years. Just imagine the fees on that one. 300 years. Overdue book. I thought I was took forever to return the thing. I thought return a book that was about 6 weeks old overdue was passed, but this one was 300 years overdue and was finally returned to the Sheffield Cathedral Library. And they said that the book in question that was 300 years old, that the overdue book fees could actually, replace the 800-year-old roof all over their cathedral. But they're obviously not going to charge the person for that 300-year overdue fine. There's no way the person could possibly afford it. They're just happy to have the book back in their library, back there at the cathedral. See, it says in the article that It was the 1704 edition of the Faith and Practice of a Church of England Man, originally written in 1688, and arrived in the mail with a note and case explaining that it came from a woman in Wales who found it among her godmother's belongings after she died. There was a note in the will that said that she should return it to the Sheffield Cathedral, and it stated 1709. It said in the side it says this book belongs to the lending library at Sheffield Church. Note that the library was dismantled in the 1800s, so this has obviously been taken out of the lending library and not returned. Now, like the article says, the fine of the book is 3 centuries overdue, so could possibly finance a new entire roof for the 800-year-old cathedral, but they have no intention of charging the family a fee. The guy says, they've returned the book, and that's wonderful. It's a joy to have this little jewel back here at the Sheffield Cathedral. But 300 years before the book finally arrived back in the library. That's a long time, if you ask me. And so the last story for this strange but true video is about this Michigan man who found bowling balls underneath his house, like behind his stairs, if you will. Yeah, that's what, right. You heard me right. This Michigan man found 160 bowling balls under home. He made a striking discovery. Striking discovery. Under his house, when he went to demolish his back stairs, there was about 160 bowling balls. David Olson, who's 33 years old, said he found these balls in the sand behind the cinder blocks this month, and continued finding more of the following days. He was actually happy about it because it's a little easier to roll bowling balls out of the way than to move the sand and figure out where to put all that. He believes there are even more buried underneath his home. He contacted the maker of the bowling balls, Brunswick Bowling Products, which had a plant in the area in the 1950s. He said former employees contacted him and told him the workers used to take scrap bowling balls to use as an alternative to gravel or sand. The plant was shut down. The Muskogean plant was shut down in 2006. He said many of the balls aren't in good shape. They don't have finger holes and aren't polished. He donated some to Muskegon Heritage Museum, and he's going to use the rest of them, if you will, for sculpture. And when he says he's going to use the rest of them for sculpture, imagining that scene in Beetlejuice with the weird sculptures. Yeah, that particular sequence that you just saw in that GIF, that's what I imagine that he says he's going to use them for sculpture, like some weird sculpture. But imagine finding all these bowling balls that are like years old and used to, it's crazy. I mean, at least he found bowling balls and not anything else that he could have particularly found in his home. So it's not too strange, but it is still strange that he found a bunch of bowling balls in his home behind the stairs. So that's it of this strange but true video. If you'd like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below of what you thought of these strange but true stories. I'd like to hear your feedback, as always. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified of future strange but true videos. Anyways, comment down below of what you thought of these stories, and have you ever found anything crazy and strange in your home doing remodeling or anything like this particular guy in this story. I'd like to hear your feedback, so comment down below. Check out the description bar, as always, for the usual type of stuff that I always leave in there, especially links to verify the story. It'll be in the description bar below. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Mordecai Lacrosse. As always, stay strange. Everybody, I'm Mordecai Lacrosse, and this is time for another strange, true, random fact. Roller coasters were invented to distract Americans from sin. Yes, that's right. In 1880s, this guy that was in the hosiery business, Lamarcus Thompson, hated that Americans were tempted by places like salons and brothels and cabarets. So he went out to straighten up the so-called immoral places, and the first thing you think of is Coney Island, New York. There he built America's first roller coaster to give New Yorkers some good, clean fun away from seedier pastimes. So there you go. There's your strange, true, random fact, is that roller coasters in America were brought to you because a guy didn't want people to sin. Bring it to him. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people sitting on the roller coaster, if you know what I mean. I'm Mordecai Lacrosse. Thank you for watching.